I call out to thee, Muse. Aid me in relaying this great tale of her who, a young child among her companions, proved her might and perseverance in battle, so that she and her crew could feel the warm embrace of home once again, and fame entangled with their names for days to come. Never was there a closer pair than Esther and Nicole. One might mistake them for a pair of baby ducklings, following each other around and doing as the other does. Their coats appear identical, as do their various other features, bill and webbed feet unidentifiable between the two hatchlings. So did Esther and Nicole mirror each other in both appearance and actions. They were inseparable, making the rest of the world insignificant to them. Oftentimes their lack of appreciation for others, replaced with a drive to find thrill and adventure in everything they did, caused them to be reckless and disregard rules set in place by beings of much higher power than they. Knowing this about Nicole and Esther's character, I was not surprised to find them fleeing the azure steeds of Tiberius, the great Viking warrior, with smiles plastered across their faces as their own horses steered them through the buzzing city before them. Mounted on my own horse, I galloped after the ridiculous pair, cutting them off. Back in front of the Vikings' own fortress, we stopped with Tiberius momentarily out of sight to devise a plan. Esther would run ahead, she being the fastest of the group, to a ring on the ground made of a mixture of sawdust, gunpowder, and gasoline that Nicole had stashed in her pack. Once Esther had lured Tiberius and his steeds onto the ring, she would stop just outside, backing away slowly, and suddenly set fire to the flammable concoction that would then trap Tiberius and his great horses inside, allowing us time to escape. So did the plan unfold. When Tiberius, along with his horde of stallions, rounded the corner to the street on which his lair sat, he commanded his mounts not to charge, but simply saunter or stride toward Esther, who stood fast in the middle of the street. The steeds' pace began to gradually accelerate, and as they did so, Esther slowly backed out of the circle. The horses went faster, faster, soon galloping full speed at Esther, as if they intended to blast through her. Then once Esther was not more than 20 feet away from the ring, 50 feet in diameter, and the gunpowder spread at least a foot wide and tall, with the horses just beyond the trap. She revealed a match from her previously clenched fists. She lit the match immediately and thrust it at the ground where the ring lay. The horses stopped abruptly, caught directly in the center of the trap, as flames burst up into the air. Suddenly confused, the horses circled the inside of their fiery cave, finding no apparent way out. It occurred to me that I knew not of where we were traveling, and had just been following behind Esther and Nicole. I asked cautiously if they had the slightest idea to our destination. Nicole, still rushing from excitement from our recent success, replied quickly, her words reflecting her giddy personality. "Several days, and we still have been searching for not silver, but sparkling gold, magnificent medallion made of metal manufactured for Majesty's loft." "Who has sent us?" "Why, the wise and wondrous Athena, wishing we watch for the wearer of yon wreath. Granted we return with the golden garter, great gifts of gold and glory she has guaranteed to us." "If it is so, that Athena wishes this of us, to retrieve a golden medallion, then so be it. I know where one can be found, west of here, just before we reach the mountains. There is a farmland where hay bales rise 50 feet in the air, those who tend to the hay often taller. We arrived there in Balerbash, land of giants, just before first light. Each towering ogre bore a medal, but only a select few were true gold. We first encountered the gangling lank, who scraped the sky and sipped clouds from a jeweled chalice. I prayed to Athena, great goddess of wisdom and battle strategy, to guide us and show us the weakness of this gargantuan girl. Athena appeared before us in her hands, a golden cable as tall as the gangling lank. Grey-eyed Athena instructed us to wrap the lariat around the giant's feet so that she could not move, but instead would tumble from her great altitude down to our feet. We did as she commanded. I distracted Lank, while the hysterical Nicole and long-legged Esther, holding the opposite ends of the golden rope, ran around and around the giant's feet until they were tightly bound. I ran, and the gangling Lank attempted to follow, but couldn't. She tipped slowly like a tree falling in the forest. It seemed to fall endlessly after the last hack at the tree vibrates up the trunk and resonates out into an empty forest. Silence fills the air, and even birds seem to hold their breath. Leaves and branches first as it tumbles, picking up momentum as it nears the ground. The creaking of bark breaking, and suddenly thud as wood hits the earth, shaking the entire forest, and leaving anything in its path lifeless. So did Lank fall, her head meeting our feet. Joyful from our latest victory, we returned to her thick neck, where our prize should hang. However, the medallion Lank bore was not a shining gold, but a matted bronze. Disappointed, we turned away, having essentially failed at Athena's task, only to find gray-eyed Athena smiling back at us. Her smooth, calm voice reassured us. "Do not give up so soon, companions, for the golden medal I seek is in these lands. The owner of such badge goes by the name Almos. She is not a giant, yet she remains undefeated. She has been said to be faster than light can fill a room. So fast you cannot see her, let alone fight her. There is one, however, who came close to defeating the nimble Almos. You know her by Sheila the Mighty. She knows the secret to retrieving the medal if anyone does. But you must travel to the land of the dead to find her, for she did not survive her battle against the nimble Almos." Only now had it been revealed to me that my great friend since childhood, lost for years with no word of her location, had been served death by the very person who keeps us from our task and the soft distant glow of home now. Even more did my rage burn for this Almos girl now than ever before. I allowed myself to fantasize of the skill of swift Almost. Was her skill reflected in her name, Almost? Did she almost have the power to defeat me? Did she almost have my fame, grit, or determination? Or is it that she would almost prevail, until I crushed her frail body with my great boot? After all, she was not a giant. How hard could it possibly be to defeat a mere mortal? Before I could further ponder the endless questions and possibilities my mind was creating, we were already descending into the underworld to greet our long-lost companion, the mighty Sheila. The land of the dead was like a deep, dark pit, with glowing fires seemingly deposited randomly about the dirt and rising up through cracks in the earth like seaweed at the bottom of the ocean, revealing the deep vat of molten lava beneath our feet. Languishing souls swayed this way and that, so many together that they began to bleed into one another, a thick mass that filled the room, but still left it empty. Through the horde of spirits, we saw mighty Sheila, reduced to a sorry wisp, yet she glowed as brilliantly as she ever could when living. We rushed to meet her, but could soon see the somber look painted on where her bright smile should have been. "Mighty Sheila, long-lost friend, it is us, your loving companions. We seek guidance in order to defeat the swift Almos, who has dealt you the deathly state you linger in. Please, help us so that we may avenge you." "My friends, thank the gods! So long it has been since a friendly face has greeted me. The prize you seek is not as easy to obtain as you might think. Almos is not only gifted in speed, but strength and intelligence as well. You must take caution when battling her, and never go hand to hand with her. Her one weakness is her pride, that she takes in her great speed. Tempt her to abuse this talent, and she is caught. She lurks among the tar pits of Balerbash. There you must lure her, trapping her in the tar pit so that she cannot move, and best you with speed. Go now, or the time will pass when you can take advantage of her power." We left the realm mighty Sheila was bound to and set off, as she had instructed us, to the tar pits of Balerbash. We gathered stones as big as sheep and found a tar pit near the home of Swift Olmos. When we were ready, I called to her. "Revere yourself, beast of this land who is known to all as Olmos. Swift and strong, prove yourself to my crew, your power before I behead thee in thine own native land." From a full 1,000 feet away, I could see Olmos enter broad daylight and instantly start charging towards me. I waited a few seconds. Then, when she was close enough, got a running start and leaped across the 20-foot wide tar pit, which stretched at least a mile to either side. Almost recognized my challenge and attempted speed through the river of tar, but lost momentum halfway through, and found herself stuck fast, arms pinioned at her sides, with nowhere to go. One by one I hurled the rocks into the tar, making a path that led directly to Olmos and our prize. I danced across the rocks to her, and ripped the glorious metal from her neck. There we left her to rot, a reward for the bloodshed of the mighty Sheila. My companions and I rejoiced. For now we would be able to return home to our families with meaning to our names. Athena appeared before us. Greeting us with a smile, she took from us the medallion, golden, and in return transported us back to our homes. I stood outside my house, hearing my relatives inside laughing and joyful, wondering if they would notice the newfound confidence in my stride, strength in my voice, and pride written across my face.